Ever wondered why we have giant inflatable characters parading on Thanksgiving? Well, it all started with a goldfish. Yes, you heard that right. Picture it. The year is 1920. The Great War is a memory. Jazz music is all the rage, and folks are looking for a reason, any reason, to celebrate. Enter the first ever Thanksgiving parade. Not quite the spectacle we're used to today, it was nonetheless a sight to behold. Imagine horse-drawn floats, marching bands, performers in costumes, and yes, a certain goldfish making its debut. This goldfish wasn't your ordinary pet shop variety. Nope. It was an inflatable balloon, the first of its kind. Now I know what you're thinking. A goldfish balloon? Not exactly the most awe-inspiring choice, is it? But as we all know, even the simplest ideas can be the start of something grand. And so, this humble goldfish bobbing along among the horse-drawn floats, the marching bands, and the costume performers stole the show. It captured the imagination of onlookers, young and old alike, and brought a touch of whimsy to that first Thanksgiving parade. It's funny when you think about it, isn't it? Here we are, 103 years later, and we're still parading inflatable characters down the streets on Thanksgiving. We've gone from a simple goldfish to beloved cartoon characters, from superheroes to mythical creatures, and everything in between. But it all started with that little goldfish. So the next time you're watching the Thanksgiving parade, whether it's from the comfort of your living room or bundled up on the sidelines, take a moment to remember that goldfish. Remember the joy and the wonder it brought to that first parade. Remember the tradition it started, a tradition that continues to bring joy and wonder to us all. And just like that, a humble goldfish became the start of a grand tradition. From a tiny goldfish to colossal characters, the parade balloons started to inflate, literally. We're talking about the evolution of parade balloons, from the humble beginnings in the roaring 20s to the fabulous 50s. In the early days, it was all about simplicity. Picture this, a small goldfish bobbing along above the crowd. Quaint, isn't it? But as the saying goes, from small beginnings come great things. The goldfish was just the start. The parade organizers had grander visions, and soon enough these visions took flight. Just a few years after the goldfish made its debut, a new character floated into the scene. Can you guess who it was? That's right, Felix the cat, the first ever character-based balloon. Felix was not just a cat, but a symbol of innovation, of progress. He was a testament to the parade's growing popularity and the potential of what these balloons could become. But hold on to your hats, folks. The parade wasn't done impressing us yet. In the late 30s, another iconic character soared above the crowd. None other than the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Now that's what I call a balloon upgrade. Superman with his cape billowing in the wind was a sight to behold. But here's a funny thought. Imagine if there was trouble down on the ground. Would our helium-filled hero be of any use? I mean, he could float around and look intimidating, sure, but with all that helium inside him, I doubt he'd be much good in a fight. It's a good thing the parade has always been a peaceful event. So, from goldfish to gargantuan superheroes, the parade balloons have indeed come a long way. They've grown, not just in size, but in significance and spectacle. They've become an integral part of the Thanksgiving parade, capturing the imaginations of both young and old. Who knew helium could put even Superman out of action? But don't worry, he'll always be our hero, even if he's a bit more buoyant than usual. Ever heard of a parade taking a break? Well, this one did, and for a rather inflated reason. It all kicked off during the turmoil of the Second World War. The annual Thanksgiving parade, a beacon of joy and unity, was put on hold. Not because of any lack of spirit or enthusiasm, but something a touch more practical. A rubber and helium shortage. You see, rubber and helium were essential for the war effort. Rubber was used in everything from aircraft and vehicle tires to boots for soldiers. Helium, on the other hand, was essential for inflating weather balloons, amongst other things. So the government decided to put a halt to the parade to conserve these precious resources. But let's not forget our larger-than-life balloon friends. What became of them, you ask? Well, they were essentially drafted into the war. They served their country well, just not in the way you might think. These balloons, once the stars of the Thanksgiving parade, were deflated and donated to the government. The rubber they were made from was then repurposed for the war effort. It's said that over 650 pounds of rubber were reclaimed from these balloons. That's a lot of rubber boots and tires. And as for the helium, it was all hands on deck. The gas was so vital that it was even collected from the air. Imagine that. Every little bit helped. So for a few years, the streets of New York were quiet on Thanksgiving morning. No marching bands, no floats, and no giant balloons. But this wasn't a defeat. It was a pause, a moment of respect, a nod to the seriousness of the times. This is a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the people. Even in times of crisis, they found ways to contribute, to make a difference. They turned a cherished tradition into a resource for the greater good. The balloons may have been benched, but they were certainly not deflated. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the parade made a triumphant return. Picture this. The year is 1945, the war is over, and the world is ready to celebrate. The Thanksgiving parade, having been on a break due to the rubber shortage, was ready to make its grand comeback with a capital G. In a world fresh out of the darkness of war, the parade became a beacon of joy and hope. The streets of New York City were once again filled with awe-inspiring floats, and the skyline was speckled with the silhouettes of giant inflatable characters floating gracefully above the city. The parade's return wasn't just a comeback, it was a symbol of resurgence, of resilience, and of the indomitable spirit of humanity. It was as if the city itself was shaking off the gloom and stepping into a new era, an era filled with laughter, cheer, and a whole lot of air-filled latex. And let's not forget about the new characters that joined the parade's ensemble. Oh, they were a sight to behold. Reflecting the popular culture of the time, these new additions were bigger, better, and more inflated than ever. From Superman flexing his muscles high above the crowd to a towering Mickey Mouse waving his oversized glove, the parade was a visual delight. It was as if the characters had leapt straight out of comic books and cartoons and into the heart of the city. And speaking of size, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer magnitude of the parade. It was as if everything had been supersized. The floats were grander, the characters taller, and the crowd larger. The parade was no longer just a parade, it was a spectacle, a celebration of life and joy. But amidst all the fun and frolic, there was a subtle reminder of the resilience and strength that had brought the world through the dark times. The parade stood as a testament to the power of hope and the spirit of celebration. And thus the parade took a giant leap forward. From a goldfish to a parade watched by millions, it's been quite a journey. Today, the Thanksgiving parade has grown into a colossal event that seizes the attention of the globe. It's a testament to human creativity, resilience, and our love for a good, old-fashioned spectacle. It's not just a parade anymore, oh no, it's a cultural extravaganza. A vibrant tapestry woven with the threads of tradition, innovation, and a dash of the whimsical. It's a time when communities come together, when families gather around their televisions, when eyes young and old sparkle with anticipation. It's a celebration that transcends borders, bringing a bit of American Thanksgiving spirit to every corner of the world. And let's not forget the stars of the show, the balloons. These floating giants are more than just inflated caricatures. They've become icons, celebrities in their own right. They've graced the skies over Manhattan, been immortalized in countless photographs, and have their own fan following. And why not? Who wouldn't want to be a fan of a 50-foot-tall Snoopy or a colossal Hello Kitty? And speaking of celebrities, it's quite amusing that the parade balloons have more air in them than some of the Hollywood elite. But let's not name names, shall we? What's Thanksgiving without a little light-hearted humor? From the humble goldfish to the immense helium-filled wonders, the parade has become an inseparable part of the Thanksgiving holiday. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of tradition, the allure of spectacle, and the universal love for a good story. So the next time you see a giant turkey floating by, remember it all started with a goldfish. And who knows, maybe one day we'll have a goldfish again, just for old time's sake.